Captains to M-Class Podcast.
Those are two C's. It's alliterative.
I'm a smart man when I make these things up. I don't know if you know
Cadets,
that about me.
commanders, captains, citizens? That starts with a C, but it's an S sound.
Citizens?
Citizens.
That's citizens of Clause 2.
It's citizens of, what's the cats in Star Trek? What's
Cadian?
Cadians. Yeah.
What is their planet called? It's a great intro.
I think it's called Cadia.
This is a podcast that specifically exists to piss you off. We are here to nitpick a thing you like, make you mad, and when you email into us, we don't read it. And I'm your host, Jeff.
Is that what we do now? Did we change the format? Sounds good to me. I'm Josh.
It's pretty much been the format the whole time. It's just that we didn't say it out loud. But now,
yeah,
now we're being real. It's real time. So let's talk about pretend Star Trek stuff.
It matters.
If you haven't listened to the podcast before, every 2 weeks we sit down with a piece of Star Trek media, pick it apart, decide if we're going to cheer or jeer it. And we'd have a really great time, and you, as a listener, have a really great time, too.
Hell yeah, I'm drinking ginger ale. Sorry. I'm a professional.
Consummate professional.
I'm gonna sip my sody pops.
This week we're going to be talking about the Enterprise Season 4, Episode 7, The Forge.
Yeah, this is a two-parter. Did we know that?
No.
Well, I watched the second part anyway, and I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, I didn't watch the second part because I knew that you were going to. And if we had both watched it, we were just going to talk about it the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's smart, actually. You're pretty smart.
The gist of this episode is that Earth's embassy on Vulcan is exploderated with a bomb. Archer and T'Pol go to an area on Vulcan called the Forge, where Surak did his pilgrimage to learn about not being an asshole.
Apparently, this is like a Death Valley of Vulcan where lightning happens in the sand, and there's giant tigers named Salots running around.
Which Vulcans keep as pets.
Yeah, you can get one in the game. I have one. It's cute.
I like how they make no attempt scientifically to explain the lightning storm in the desert. Like, they could have. It's not too different. It's not too different from stuff on Earth, but they were just like, it's lightning. And it shoots through caves and hits you.
There's metal, I don't know, copper. Fuck it. I guess that's part, like, because they're copper-based blood, right? There's lots of copper on that planet.
Yeah.
Sure.
The blood of Vulcans runs through that planet. It's all green and coppery.
From all the nukes.
Jesus, we'll get into that.
Get to see a nuke? Yeah, we get to see some cool shit.
This episode is part of the sports collection as gifted to us by Jack Carpenter.
I forgot that this was sports.
I'm sure you at home listening are like, what the fuck? What does this have to do with sports? Well, you may have missed it, but they do play basketball for about 6 seconds in this episode.
I like that, like, basketball's still around. It makes sense, right? Like, human beings are always probably going to be throwing balls in the hoops. Why would basketball go away, right?
Basketball is one of the more simple sports we have.
It's so simple, but, like, I mean, obviously, like, NBA basketball is, like, really complicated, but, like, not in principle.
Having a fun pickup game is super easy, right?
Yeah, in principle, basketball is fucking simple as shit.
Also, you only need half a court, and that's not that much area.
You only need one hoop.
Basketball.
Goes back to when we were throwing heads into things, baskets and shit.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Like that Mayan game. They played that kick ahead through the hoop game.
Oh, yeah. And it became basketball.
Like soccer basketball. There's a theory about how, like, human beings learning how to throw was, like, our ultimate, like, how we started to evolve, like, into who we are now.
Yeah, it's like, I want to kill someone over there.
Yeah. But, like, how, like, a lot of us together, we could fight off, like, lions and shit. Because, like, we could all throw rocks at a lion, and the lion's going to be like, what the fuck? But, like, one guy throwing a rock at a lion, I ain't going to do shit.
No. And, like, we had spears, like, pretty early, like, pointy stick, right? That's not too difficult to come up with. Like, chimps have that now.
Yeah, they got spears now. Remember, did I tell you about this?
I saw it on TV actually that they have spears now.
They're in the Stone Age, which is pretty sweet.
Which is it is pretty fucking sweet, really. We're gonna fuck that up right? Though. Like as soon as like humans sense that they're getting a little too close to moving out of the Stone Age, we're gonna fuck that all up.
Well, we did it with the Neanderthals, right?
Yeah.
Like
hopefully we don't fuck them out of existence. I'm not down for that. I'm not down for fucking chimps, right?
I mean, I agree with that. I don't think we should do that.
I'm glad we're on the same page for this.
I don't know why you needed to like wonder about that, but
I'm glad we're on the same page. So there's basketball in this episode.
Yeah,
that's why it's in the sports collection. We had to have something from Enterprise in this shit. Fuck you.
Well, they were playing in like a cargo bay, and on this ship, like this ship's tiny, right? So like, it's like a tiny cargo bay too. Like it's not even like nearly enough size to play basketball in. I really love that Dr. Phlox is just like perfect at it because that's how they show that they're ready to fuck on their planet. He's like Steph Curry, dude.
He just doesn't even like move. He just throws the ball. Kobe.
He just does the math in his head and he gets it in.
Fuck. Why not me?
You're human. Humans are dumb.
It's true. Basketball is my sport. If I had to play any sport at any time and not just sit on my ass all day, I would choose basketball.
Basketball. You know why you like it? Because you're tall.
Yeah.
I was short. Not tall. I was normal size.
Well, Josh, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Gonna go eat some turkey at my grandma's.
Going to the hat store, gonna pick myself a hat. Hey.
80s rap. Just talk about whatever we're doing that day.
It's fucking going to wholesome as shit. Talking about going to your friend's house and having chicken, and it's not as good as your house.
I mean, it makes sense because like when a rap song back then came out, it was like 14 minutes long. You gotta fill that shit up.
You gotta talk about something, right?
Yeah.
It's like the beginning part of every other podcast where they're like, what did you do this week? We have to fill time.
Nobody cares what I did this week. Nobody gives a shit.
I had some sody pop. You guys want to talk about my sody pop?
I've been craving like Chinese food lately.
Oh damn!
Like
now
hard.
I'm craving Chinese food hard.
There's shrimp. There's a shrimp dumplings that are across the street from me. Holy fuck, they're good.
Send me.
I don't know what they do to them. They're my favorite.
Yeah, speaking of people who are waiting for us to review our Star Trek wine, it comes tomorrow, so we can't do it this time. We'll have to do it next time.
Yeah, it'll be like later in your time. It's only been like a week in our time, or 2 weeks, I guess.
Maybe Rich Masters will have to sit there and listen to us while we talk about
slurping wine. I'm curious. I'm still curious what we're gonna get, like how they're gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Maybe I should have seen on the tracking information if it had weight, and I could reverse engineer that shit.
Yeah, see like what we're getting. I'm optimistic. I think they might go give us some good shit.
Dude, I'm wanting like giant. I want full bottles. I know it's not gonna happen, but
I do too. And I want like I want that Picard like wooden ass case that comes in. Fuck that shit. Rules.
The Chateau Picard.
Which one should we each like pick one?
Give our honest review. I give my dishonest review. It's good already. It's great.
No, it's gonna be good. I mean, it's Star Trek wine. Like, how's it not gonna be good?
There is no weight on this tracking information.
Also, I drink like box wine, so who cares?
It's better than box wine. It's gonna be our stamp of approval. They could put that on the bottles.
Man, nothing like a good old box wine. You get fucking tore up.
Get your juice box on.
Get that like fucking Steve Brule like red around your mouth. It's swine time.
Alright, so the beginning of this episode, that may have sounded like there was an edit there, but there wasn't. I just realized how weird that must have sounded.
No, it's perfect. I love it.
So the teaser is that there's a mysterious Vulcan going through a cave. It tells us that it's a planet Vulcan 18 years ago.
Sure.
I forget. I watched this a while back.
I watched it today, but
I watched it before I took a nap, so it's all lost to me.
Got fogged up in there, yeah.
All that memory is lost to me. I've already been the captain on a ship in my mind.
Yeah, he's like in like a cave, and it just like looks like a pyramids or something, right?
And he finds a plastic prop, and he picks it up with his bare fucking hands. So I guess like we're already supposed to know that this is not an archaeologist, because what the fuck? That's not how you do it. What do you do?
Well, there's only one of them, and he's got like a cloak on or something, I think. Right?
Put a glove on or something. He's got the little brush, the little archaeology brush.
This has nothing to do with the episode, what happens in this part. This is literally nothing to do with the episode.
Very, like, at the very tail end of the episode.
Not really, though, because they're not looking for his remains. You know what I mean? They're not...
It's his katra is in it. It's his little katra shell thing. They talk about it in the next episode.
Okay. So I thought that the katra was just, like, hanging around.
Just chilling. He's not a ghost yet. That does happen, but he's not a ghost yet.
So does the katra come from the thingy that they find in the second episode? It comes from that like pyramid thing they find. It's like a little.
It's in the second episode, at the tail end of the first one and at the end of the second one. Surok's katra is in Archer.
Yes.
It was in the guy who was in the cave at the beginning here, and he touched Archer's face. Spoiler for the very episode you're listening to.
But my question is he getting the katra from the fucking urn?
Yeah. It was they talk about this in in some supplementary thing I read. I think it was a fucking book I read. I've read a couple Star Trek books now.
Uh-huh.
But katra can be stored in a person, but can also be stored inside of this matrix that they keep inside of these ancient urns.
So it's like Jedi, like kyber crystals, like holocrons.
Kinda, yeah. It's like something about what the urn is made out of. It's like coated on the inside, and it keeps the katra inside.
Gotcha, holocrons.
Yeah. It's it keeps your katra inside in a convenient jug that you can just drink the katra whenever you want.
Like chocolate milk, like Nestle Quick.
Nestle katra. 17 years later.
Fast forward
through a lot happens, but who cares? 17 years later.
It's Vulcan. What really does happen? Not much.
Desert shit.
Yeah.
Admiral Forrest, who we've met before several times in Enterprise. He's Archer's bestest friend forever.
Yeah, he's like his name's Vaughn Armstrong. He's been in everything, like every Star Trek.
He's got that type of face where he can play like a hard ass, but he can also have like the sensitivity.
He has a cop face. He's got a cop face.
Well, now I want to punch him. That's not the same.
He looks like a cop to me. I mean, I don't know.
He's going to Vulcan because the Vulcan High Command is finally issuing a decision about whether they're going to do joint missions with Starfleet. Like, are they going to partner up or not? And Admiral Forrest is like super psyched about this, right? And
he's giddy as a cop girl, school cop girl.
Ambassador Saval, who I really like. I've always really liked him.
Yeah, he gets kind of like. He's kind of like not a good guy in this series, but like he's also not a bad guy.
No, he is the most changed Vulcan besides T'Pol. Really, he starts out as almost kind of like a bad guy. Like he's got scruples in a way that the other High Council Vulcans don't.
Yeah,
like the High Command Vulcans are all like pieces of shit, and he's like a good guy, but he still believes
find out why. You find out why.
Yes.
Which is awesome, and I wish there was more of the show, because this is why the show would have been awesome.
Yeah, like, Enterprise did something that, like, you can't do for a Star Trek series where, like, it took too long to get good, get genuinely good.
They should have season 2 ramped it up, started going this direction.
I think somebody, it may have been Brandon Braga when he was taking a break from being a sex pervert for 5 minutes, said that they were sort of resting on their laurels at this point because like Star Trek was such a huge phenomena when they launched Enterprise.
Right, but it was on This show was made during a really bad period of time for television. Like, it's after 9/11, so nobody really wants to be having fun.
No, it's the era of like 24. Like,
yeah,
everything is gritty and dark, and there's torture, and we don't know if we're okay with torture or not on TV, even though we should know that already.
It's the Iraq War. There was the writers' strike was happening during this time in Hollywood. Like, that's when Lost, like the first 2 seasons of Lost are great, and then I think I don't even need to finish that.
Well, the writer's strike fucked over a lot of different.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the writer's strike on solely on Lost. I think the writers of Lost have a lot to do with that, but like,
yeah, what was their plan, right? Like, you could go back and like, I've not watched a lot of Lost, but I know it. I know it because
their plan was people
right?
saw through it. They saw through what it was, and then they lied and said no, that wasn't it. And then they were like, shit. Let's drag this out for 6 seasons.
I believe they call that.
They forget.
I believe they call that Into Darkness syndrome.
Yes,
where people figure out your shit and you just lie to them.
Weirdly enough, made by the same people. Super weird.
Strange how that works out. But Ambassador Saval is like, well, I'd love to tell you whether we're gonna do joint operations or not, but they haven't told me yet.
Which is like. Not great.
No, this is when things like start to smell fishy. Even Admiral Forrest, who's like an admiral, so he's an idiot, is like, what?
Say what? I'm an admiral. I'm a dummy.
This is where we have like one of my favorite bits about in all of Enterprise, where Saval explains why they're so reticent on working with humans and allowing them the same technologies.
Right.
And it's entirely because Vulcans remember only one species in the universe that are like humans, and it's war Vulcans.
Yeah, Vulcans before the Great Awakening.
Who just obliterated their planet twice.
Yeah. So Romulans.
Yeah. They're fucking Romulans. And at this point, I think Vulcans have forgotten what Romulans are, or they don't know what Romulans are. They're like those who marched below the Raptor's wings and then just fucked off. We don't know where they went. We don't know if they even still exist.
I guess they assume, again, this is very like Star Wars-y, right? It's like the Sith, like, well, the Jedi that would become the Sith. Like, they just sort of are like, they're gone. Like, who knows? Like, they're gone. They're probably dead. Yeah, like, they're probably fucking dead, right? Like, who cares?
Because, I mean, this was, like, thousands of years ago at this point. Like, we haven't seen these fuckers in 1,000 years. Who knows?
1,800 years, right? That's, I think, how long it was, and they say it.
They'd be like Neanderthals coming back at some point. Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, it's sort of like if, like ancient Greeks, like, went into space and came back, and we're like, what?
You know, it's a little bit more like if ancient Romans went into space.
That would make more sense. But, like, yeah, you're right.
It's exactly like that, actually.
Yeah. Romulus.
But, like, there's this great moment where Admiral Force is like, wait, are Vulcans afraid of humans? And Saval doesn't answer. He just kind of, like, looks away.
Yeah, he's like, maybe.
Of course.
Maybe I'm not telling you, maybe.
Humans have to be super confusing, right? Because, I mean, like, for every alien species, not just Vulcans, because all the alien species are, like, two-dimensional TV aliens. Like, they have their one personality traits.
Right.
And
like, all the Nebulans are flocks, like...
Yeah, like, humans are all different, and they're all, like, different aliens at different times.
Yeah, they kind of talk about, he's like, you know, 1 minute you're as emotional as Klingons, and then the next minute you shock us by embracing logic, and it's true, like, we're fucking weirdos.
Yeah, it's like, from a human point of view, it's like, well, the Vulcans are just fucking assholes. They don't want to give us their technology because they're dickheads.
They're narcs, man.
From the Vulcan point of view, it's like, everything you were ever afraid of has shown up at your door, and it's like, hey, how about that world-destroying technology you got?
Let's be friends, or not, or yes, or maybe.
Yeah, it's like, Vulcans can't lie, and except, like, when they're being two-faced, they can do that, but they can't, like, straight up lie. So it's
also, you find out a lot about the Vulcans in this series. A lot of it's false.
Yes.
which is awesome.
This is like the first step towards understanding that, this episode.
Yeah.
And, but like humans come out of nowhere and we're like everything they were ever afraid of. And we're here and they don't know what to do about it. Like, because we're not exactly like them. We're a lot more logical than they were back then. We can be.
Right. We're better off in a lot of ways, but also that if we just decided to, we could just be like, well, we're going back to start raping and pillaging again, you know? And so I guess, like, from, like, the Vulcans, like, elvishly wisdom point of view, they're like, well, let's try to, like, guide them. But
it's
we're
very
impatient.
much like, let's figure out what the fuck they're trying to do before we actually help them.
Right.
Which is understandable, but again, like, they go about it in a real dicky way.
Well, they're slow as fuck. Like, that, like, compared to human beings, like, Vulcans are, like, they say it. They're like, it took us 1,500 years to get our shit together and come out into the stars, right? Like,
yeah. And
like, you guys did it in, like, 90 years.
Yeah. And it's like, they're developing so fast, and all we can think about when we look at them is, man, we nuked our planet twice when we were like them.
Yeah.
But humans only come off that way on the surface. Like, we're not at, like, TNG level of evolved humanity at this point, but we're, like, heading towards it on a bullet train.
Yeah, you see, like, and which is one of the reasons I also love Enterprise, is you see, like, the beginnings of, like, people really changing. Like, and you see that through mostly Archer, and from the Vulcan perspective to Paul, right? Those are, like, the two main point of views in the show. But yeah, like, Archer gets, like, a lot of shit, and he looks real rad in this episode, being a dad in Oakley's.
In his baseball cap.
With his fucking baseball hat that says, like, NASA on it or whatever.
Again, he was like, look, I love baseball caps, and I'm gonna wear them regardless of whether they fit into the show or not.
It's still at a point when you could get away with a baseball cap, I guess.
Yeah, could you imagine Captain Kirk just rocking a fucking dad hat on an away mission? Or Captain Picard in his, like, away mission jacket and, like, a trucker hat. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Just a trucker hat that said Starfleet on it.
It says Big Dog and has the Big Dog on it.
He's wearing a Big Johnson shirt. You can't see it, but it's there. It's under his uniform.
That's what Archer would wear, a Big Johnson shirt. I could see
That's what I mean. He gets like a lot of, like, this guy's a cowboy, and he's like he doesn't give a shit.
He definitely grows a ton. Like, we jump around in Enterprise a lot, and I've not watched every episode of Enterprise. So there's this jarring thing when we go from one collection to another, and it's like early Enterprise to later Enterprise. And he's like a huge prick in early Enterprise.
Oh, he's a baby. He's a fucking whiny baby.
And then in later Enterprise, he's a Starfleet captain, and I'm like, is this the same guy?
Yeah, there's a really great episode after they come back from, I think it's the beginning of season 4, they come back from the Delphic Expanse, and he's, like, having a nervous breakdown, because he's like, this shit is crazy out there. Like, he's like, this shit's fucking madness out there, and he's like, we need fucking photon torpedoes, we need goddamn army men on the ship. He's like, I need all this shit, because it's bananas out there. And this other captain is like, yeah, you sound like a crazy person, my dude.
Maybe you should go out there then.
And then they fuck and he gets better, because fucking fixes everything.
Yeah. That's the real lesson of Enterprise. Except in that one episode with the 3 genders, that's not the answer in that episode.
No, that one's, yeah.
People keep bringing that up, like, because people are watching through Enterprise to, like, get ahead of us, right? Because we keep spoiling shit.
Yeah, sure. Well,
sorry, everybody.
Good job. No, you're doing it right. It's all planned for me to get you to watch the show, so.
So they're all getting to that episode, and then, like, it's been long enough since someone else freaked out about it that they're like, what the fuck is this episode? What is the moral?
Yeah.
Because, again, what is the moral of that episode? I guess we'll never know.
I think it's because they can't there's no prime directive yet, right? So I think it's to set up, like, maybe I'm giving the show more ammunition than it deserves, but I think it's to set up that, like, we can't fuck with these people yet. Like, we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, like, there is always that, like, maybe we're forcing our own morality.
Yeah.
And, I feel like what would have worked better, since we're fucking not even talking about this episode, I'll go ahead and say, I feel like what would have worked a million times better is if partway through the episode, our understanding of how their society works is proven to be super limited. Like, we don't really understand them.
Yeah, it would be cool if, like you said, aliens are 2-dimensional-ish in these shows. Maybe, like, there's like a moment when they realize, like, well, we have no idea what it's like.
Oh yeah, that would be a great like Star Trek moment as well, where like, which would make you think about all the other, like, maybe we're looking at all of these alien species 2-dimensionally, and we don't really understand them.
It would be a cool moment in Star Trek just for like a show purposes, but also for like kind of a wink and a nod, like, look, like, the aliens in this series are actually really complicated, right?
Yeah,
like,
we just don't know how to write that.
We don't have time. Well, also, like, a lot of times, there's no time.
It's true.
I mean, you could write an entire series about each one of the species in this fucking universe, right? It's so complicated.
There are a billion books out there on every alien species.
The Tellarite Chronicles.
God, I wish. I'd fucking read that in an instant. It probably exists. I'll have to look that up.
It probably does. Rich is writing it right now.
God, I hope so. Wouldn't that be great if his next season was the Tellarite Chronicles? Only I would love that. Everybody else
would love the
like,
shit out of it.
Everybody else would be like, what the fuck, Rich? What does this have to do with anything?
These guys are assholes. We get it.
They're assholes on purpose for fun. I get it.
It's a game. Cool.
And then they play basketball. I think this is a good time to take a break, right?
Yeah. We'll get back into it.
We're going to take a break for however long we feel like, but for you guys, that'll be just for like a quick minute. And we'll be right back to talk more about this great episode of Enterprise after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Power Wheels Raider, Power Wheels High Rider, Power Wheels Classic Convertible, each sold separately, all battery powered with real motors.
And its own power motor makes it go, go, go!
Power Wheels, Power Wheels, power makes it go!
Your parents assemble them easily, then off you go, over the hills, around the trees.
Power Wheels, power makes it go!
Power Wheels Classic Convertible, Raider, and High Rider all run on rechargeable batteries, each sold separately.
And we're back from that commercial break. Hopefully you'll purchase that good and/or service.
I mean, I put a lot of like 80s commercials in, so some of them I guess you could still buy, but like...
You better get that Care Bear collection is all I'm saying.
I don't know if I put a Care Bear one in yet.
I used to like the Care Bears when I was a kid until some other boy found out I liked them, and I was like, oh, I can't like them now. What will he think of me?
I like Rainbow Bright a lot.
Did you? That's cool.
Yeah.
Was Rainbow... No, Strawberry Shortcake was the one that smelled. I always thought
that was the one
awesome.
All the toys smelled. Yeah, they smell like strawberries. And plastic.
I was like, fuck yeah, plastic strawberries?
80s plastic cancer smell.
You for sure... If you sniffed a Strawberry Shortcake as a kid, you got some form of cancer.
Oh, no, I'm positive that's a thing.
So our heroes are valiantly playing basketball. And Archer is not doing the best, even though he's the captain. So what the fuck is up with that, right?
That's how you get to be a captain. You got to be good at hoops.
You got to dunk on every admiral, and then they'll let you be the captain.
Yeah, all right, you're a captain. Here's your fourth pip.
It's why Riker never made it to captain for so long.
Yeah, he couldn't dunk, which is weird because he's like 8 foot tall.
He could dunk, but like he didn't have that speed. Because he had to put his leg up every 5 seconds, so he couldn't get that speed going. Anyway, T'Pol shows up, and she's like, oh, something's happened, Archer. And
yeah, come out here and talk to me. I'm very emotional because of the space heroin.
Then Administrator Velas, who is the head of the Vulcan High Command, shows up. That's red flag number 2, if you're following along.
Yeah. He's like, I'm here. And I'm a dickwad.
Yeah, I'm a huge fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And Ambassador Saval is with me, and Stell, chief investigator of the security directorate, who is a super asshole.
Yeah, this guy's real name is Lark Spies. That is a fucking made-up name.
Yeah, that's not a real name. What the fuck?
It is an unbelievably fake-ass name.
That dude's real name is Steve Smith. There's no doubt in my mind.
He was in Tony Hawk Underground 2 as male player voice 1.
Oh, I used that voice. Probably.
Probably.
I used to play the fuck out of Tony Hawk's Underground, though. Like, shit, I love that game.
All Tony Hawk games got played the fuck out of.
Oh, yeah. I think Tony Hawk's Underground is the one that had that bus driver track on it, Imaginary Places. I fucking love that track. Anyway. They're like, oh, the Andorians did this.
Yeah, and Archer's like, yeah, I don't think so, because, like, we're cool with those dudes, and, like, we're neutral as fuck, so why would they blow up an Earth embassy?
Yeah, Andorians are my fucking road dogs, and they would never turn traitor against me.
Me and Shran go riding at night on our bikes, and it's cool as fuck, and he would never, ever say anything bad about my parents.
Shran was at my quinceañera. He would never turn against me. And they're very, like, reluctant to tell him, but they kind of drag it out that the Sirenites are under suspicion. Right. And they're Vulcans who follow a corrupted form of Surok's teaching, which, of course, is the actual Surok's teachings that we know from the rest of Star Trek.
So, speaking of ancient Rome, right?
Yes.
Like, this is very similar to... Christ. This is very Christ-like.
Oh yeah, there's a huge, like, they straight up just make, like, the connection where, like,
later,
when they're talking about Surok. Surok is Vulcan Jesus.
He's Vulcan Jesus and Vulcan Buddha, apparently, right? Because he's also very, like, meditative and shit.
He's Vulcan Boozes.
Boozes. Yeah.
And
like, if Jesus were, like, not the shitty mascot that the Christians wave around now. Like, if Jesus was, like, a cool dude like he was supposed to be, right?
The Jesus from the actual book, who's, like, a real good, cool dude, who's like, the poor are the best, and the
not judging people, not judging people, hanging out with hookers, that guy.
Yeah. So the Sirenites are, like, logical and peaceful, so they couldn't have done it, right? But then, like, Archer asks if there's any evidence or anything, and they're like, oh, well, you know, recently the Sirenites have been doing crimes and being violent.
Conveniently.
Yeah. If I was Archer, I'd be like, hold up one tick. You just said they didn't 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, so, like, in true Vulcan, like, fashion, they, like, fuck it up for themselves. Because they're playing this, like, too heavy-handed, right? Like Archer's like, there's some shit going on.
Yeah, the fact that the head of the fucking high command shows up is already, like I said, a huge red flag. Something is up here.
Right, it's intimidating, right? It's like an intimidating thing. Like, this guy's gonna show up and be like, don't worry about it. Like, all right.
Like, the United Earth Embassy is obliterated, and what, 37?
31 humans, and I think 13 Vulcans died or something like that.
Like, a lot of people are dead as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's a big explosion. It should have been more than that, honestly.
I guess it was mostly empty? Well, no, people were there for the meeting, so, I don't know. Television, right? It can't be like 1,000 people died.
It would have been, it would, like, I don't know how many people died in, like, Oklahoma City. Like 200? Like 500? I don't know.
46.
Not 43.
43, yeah.
Or whatever it is.
So they're like, there's also like another red flag here that, like, I don't know, like I read a lot of mystery novels and shit, so I can like I like instantly pick up on when people are bullshitting.
Yeah.
And where they're like, oh, well, we left the embassy like completely alone, so you guys can go in and investigate. And it's like, 13 of your people died and you didn't investigate?
Yeah, like nobody's like checking this shit, like nobody's investigating. Like, that's crazy. Nobody just doesn't do that, right?
Like, from my like fucking mystery addled brain, like I would have been real careful looking through that blast site, which as it turns out they should have been.
Right.
Reed and Mayweather, everybody's two favorite characters.
We get a nice Reed Mayweather scene.
The Mr. and also Mr. Personality go down to the planet surface.
Lieutenant Reed, who is apparently just a bomb guy on the show.
Yeah, he knows bombs. Dude knows bombs.
Like, bomb expert. All right, cool.
Although he's yet to disable any, so
yeah,
maybe not.
He's 0 for 2.
He thinks he's bomb guy, but he's not.
We could have got a better bomb guy, I think.
But Mayweather just he finds an energy signature and just starts pulling rubble away from it.
Yeah, which is smart.
Yeah, let's not investigate it or anything. Let's just look at it with our eyeballs.
I guess it's good that he didn't scan it, because that would have been...
It's true. That is
problem.
True. He's holding a big piece of rubble up. Because he's a big strong man, right?
Yeah, why not?
And there's a bomb underneath it that's a Digipet from Digimon with little pieces of see-through plastic attached to the sides of it.
Yeah, it looks like a bomb with this glow sticks that you get at 4th of July.
Yeah, it's 100% a digital pet. It's like a Tamagotchi that has shit attached to it. That's what they use to make it.
Right. It's like the lady's razor in Star Wars Episode 1. It's just a razor.
Look, our fans aren't going to know what a lady's razor looks like.
Go back to go look up 90s ladies razor, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I made one. I bought one of those, and I made one of those.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have one. I'll show it to you sometime.
That's awesome.
I glued a bunch of buttons and shit on it.
But, Mayweather can't put down the stuff he's holding because it's going to detonate the bomb. So Reed calls for a beam out, but then scans the bomb, which he says 5 seconds ago is going to trigger it.
Yeah, he's like, if I would have made this, I'd have made it go off. It's but it's good that he does, because he finds the DNA on it, right?
Everything is, this episode is fairly tight, honestly. It's a really good mystery. Everything works together. None of this stuff is, I'm not nitpicking for, nitpicking sake. I'm doing it for comedy's sake. Hopefully,
no, I know
some of this is funny,
but
because you do find it funny, go to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, and for as little as $1,
here we go,
you can have just as much horse shit.
You get more of this shit.
Anyway, they get transported out a second before the bomb explodes and destroys any evidence that was there, but they do find DNA on the device, Vulcan DNA, which completely rules out the Andorians at this point.
Right. And it's they find out that it's a woman named T'Pau, which you know T'Pau. Yeah,
T'Pau, who appears in TOS in the episode Muck Time.
Yeah, and she's in the movies too when they go to Mount Selea.
Yeah, she is a Vulcan spiritual leader and a diplomat later.
Yes.
Now she's just a super big spiritual leader.
Yeah. She's young as shit. But they say Archer's so she must have been arrested before because you have her DNA, and this is very important for later. Here's your mystery brain, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And T'Pau says, no, we're all, as infants, our DNA is taken at birth.
It's a birth registry of DNA, which is a little weird.
A little fashy.
A little fashy, yeah.
Well, again, you'll find out why.
Yeah, Vulcans have gone through a little period here where they've lost sight of what they were supposed to be doing.
Kind of on purpose, kind of very reminiscent of America.
They may have lost their way in a very similar manner as America.
Yeah, a very, very similar way. Yeah.
They find that DNA of T'Pau, and Archer is trying to. He's assigning people things to do, and Stell, who the security chief. The Vulcan High Command is you can't investigate this any longer. It's a Vulcan matter.
Yeah, it's our job now. Get out of here. And it's what?
It's very much follow our breadcrumb trail until the logical point where you're no longer allowed to follow it.
Yeah, it's very Vulcan. That's what I mean. It's heavy-handed as shit, right?
Because if there was a Vulcan who was doing this investigating, right? I mean, most Vulcans. Like, if you're a Vulcan who is completely, like, you're attached to the high command and you have that sort of high command brain going on, there's no way you would pursue this any further. The high command said I can't.
Right.
So from his point of view, from high command's point of view, like they did this perfectly. There's no way that archery
it's airtight. Yeah. But humans don't think like that because we're like, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not doing that. You're crazy.
There are a few Vulcans who are waking up from the high command brain as well, who aren't thinking like that either.
Yeah. Even Saval, who like shot, like when I first watched through the series, and like I think the next scene or whatever is when, well, there's a couple things that happen, but when he says like, do what you need to do, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this guy is not like this, right?
He's truly honorable in a way that the high command is not. And he
spent time with humans. He spent time with Andorians, right? And this is why I love this show, because it's Star Trek, man. Like,
it's the idic. It's like it is 100% the idic. Like, Vulcans don't become corrupted from being around humans too long. They become enlightened.
They become more of themselves and better. Like, just like in America, like, we all make each other fucking better.
Absolutely.
Like, I want Chinese food, you know? Like, I want to eat that culture's food because I love it.
Yeah, thank you to every Chinese immigrant that ever came to this country for bringing your delicious food here.
Yeah, and also other
your
things.
Amazing culture and your helping hand that's made America as great as it is. And that goes to every immigrant person ever. And that's the idic. That's like why I love Vulcans so much. You're not lessened for taking on the features of other cultures. You're heightened, you're greatened.
Yeah, they make it like their own thing, right? Like, they're not becoming more emotional. Like, Vulcans are still pretty fucking emotionless, you know what I mean? Like,
they're becoming more understanding. They're learning more and growing as people. And that's a beautiful, like, that's the overall message of the entire Vulcan storyline of Enterprise. And that's why, like, people point out, like, if I talk about, like, how I don't like how Vulcans are treated in DS9, they're like, well, you don't complain about Enterprise.
Because there's a resolution to it.
Yeah, there's a resolution. Like, the characters aren't just being played as, like, emotionless assholes for, like, a joke. There's a real storyline where they grow and change.
I think if you had to look at Enterprise, like, with, like, the positives of the show ending, there aren't really many, but, like, one of them is that the Vulcan storyline gets wrapped up. Like,
I am thankful for that, because, man, I don't know how much I would enjoy Enterprise as a whole if they were just, like, they were just angry assholes.
Yeah, they're just dicks. But, like, the way they do it is, like, perfect. Like, it makes sense. You can see where they're going with it, obviously, like, that the Romulans are, like, they got their fingers in these different areas and they're fucking with everybody, right?
And it's like it doesn't make the Vulcans seem stupid for being misled, because, like we were talking about earlier, they didn't even know these people existed anymore.
Right. It's very dark, like, super secret, like, dark government shit. Because the Vulcans are, like, secret as fuck.
It's like the Romulans, I guess we're just fucking spoiling everything. They're just trying to gain Vulcan back. They want Vulcan to go back to the way it was so that they can have their empire there.
Yeah, also they're worried about humans and they're worried about the Alliance. Like, they get real freaked out by the Alliance.
They 100% do not want a federation of planets to ever exist.
I don't even think they realize that that's what's going to happen, honestly. I think that they're just like, well, these guys are friends. Like, we don't want them to be allies. But instead, it completely fucking backfires on them.
They create a common enemy. Which is the thing that really brings different peoples together.
Yeah.
Which is a sad state of affairs when you look at humanity, that the only way for us to really come together is to have a common enemy.
Like Watchmen, right?
Yeah, well, like, I guess the movie gets that too, but I've talked about how the movie kind of, like, twists that a little bit.
No, the movie's dumb. They blame it on Dr. Manhattan. That's fucking stupid.
Who's an American? Like,
it's fucking dumb as shit. Like,
how would the other countries be like, yeah, Dr. Manhattan went rogue, we believe that?
It's like they were like, it's too unbelievable. about the fake aliens, and it's like there's a guy who has his dick out the whole time, fucking teleporting. The fucking thing is unbelievable.
He's changing the matter of existence to his whim, right?
He won Vietnam. That's unbelievable, right?
Like they use his transformation and the energy he creates and everything in order to make the alien, the fake alien.
Right.
But that would be too unbelievable. So everybody just blames an American and somehow don't blame America.
Far. Yeah. No, the movie's dumb. In the show, I mean, the book's incredible. I love that book. It's incredible.
I do too.
Yeah, the show gets it right. They fix it a little bit, which is me saying the Damon Lindelof thing got something right.
Wow.
So that's amazing, right?
Hey, did you know that the comic, like, I only learned this like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've read it like a dozen times. The comic, the panels are mirrored from the center out. Like the first page and the last page have the same panel layout.
I had read that. I have it, but I haven't gone and looked at it.
Fucking amazing. Like Dave Gibbons is such an amazing artist, but I won't gush anymore about that.
That's our next podcast. Watchmen Class M show.
Watchmen Watchers?
Watchersman?
I'm sure Watchmen Watchers already exists.
Yeah.
That's too close. Yeah. Who watches the Watchmen?
Who watches the Watchmen is pretty fun. That would be great for like a watching the show podcast. That's a good one.
That is the good one. I haven't watched the show though.
It's pretty good. I like it.
So the scene in the cargo bay is particularly strong in this episode. Like all of the coffins of the human beings who died in the bombing are in the cargo bay to be taken back to Earth.
Yeah, so they've been in this show. They really do this a bunch because of 9/11. Because like this is after 9/11. This is like 3 years, but like they're really into that imagery in the show of like dead people. Because that's what was on our mind, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's like evocative of something we just went through.
Saw.
Like,
yeah,
that's like the perfect way to emotionally connect with your audience. There's no way to get around that if you lived through it, you know?
Yeah, and the war was like ramping up. I think it was already going on at this point.
Yeah,
so
it was already going on at this point. But like all the coffins are set out, and Admiral Forrest's coffin is there as well. So Archer's like standing over it. And Saval comes in, and Archer's like having none of it. He's like, if you're lost, I can help you find your shuttle.
Right.
Because he's like fucking tired of Vulcans at this point.
Yeah.
And Saval says that the Admiral died saving his life.
Yeah, I think he calls him like his friend at one point, too.
They're definitely friends. There's no way around that.
Which is like crazy, right? Like for this point in time, like humans and Vulcans are not friends. Like, they're not.
No, that's, like, T'Pol is friends with Archer, and that's probably about it.
Yeah, and that's, like, a huge deal. Like, they don't like that. They're like, this is a problem. Again, like, later you find out why. Like, normal Vulcans would be like, whatever, who cares, right? But, like, there's a policy at play here, and the policy is keep these species at arm's length, dominate them, be better, like, have more technology than them. You know, it's like very dark.
It's very post 9/11 America. Like we have to keep everyone at arm's length, and we have to be stronger than them.
We have to
keep them from harming us again.
Right. We have to be better so we can control them, which is America since World War II. Honestly,
pretty much. Yeah, we need to have that military superiority.
Yeah.
But like, Archer's kind of taken aback by Saval talking about Admiral Forrest, and he's also taken aback because Saval says that there's no evidence that the Syrenites are responsible, and he doesn't even understand why they're being accused.
Yeah.
And Archer's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? And he says, don't leave the investigation to the Vulcans. The High Command can't be in charge of this. Question everything they ever say to you.
Trust no one, Mulder.
Exactly.
Yep.
And he's like, whatever ends you have to go to in order to solve this, you have my full support.
Which is like insane. Like Archer probably shit his pants like, at that point. The fuck is going on here? Yeah. Because Saval is like from the first episode, like Archer is like, fuck you, dude. And Saval's like, you typical humans.
You humans and your piece of shit, shitty emotions. Fuck you.
We're not even going to let you take this Klingon back to his homeworld because you're too fucking stupid.
You probably just fly into a wormhole, idiot.
Morons.
Probably fly into a wormhole and end up in the Delta Quadrant, idiots.
You probably fucking kill fucking James T. Kirk's dad, and the whole universe will get fucked up, idiots.
Speaking of X-Files, I'm at the point in X-Files where they have to start explaining why they don't just fucking kill Mulder.
Yes, like season 3, 4, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming up with all these, like, convoluted reasons why they're killing everyone around him, but not him.
Are you at the point where, like, it's, like, his family's, like, involved?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's the beginning of that, right? Yeah, it gets, like, so crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
May I interest you in Riverdale? It requires no thinking.
I don't know, like, Mulder and Scully are both pissing me off at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they're trading off episodes at this point where it's like, alien or supernatural episode. Mulder believes in it, Scully refuses, even though she's seen it a million times.
Right. But except if it's a Jesus episode.
Yeah, Jesus episode, Scully believes it, Mulder doesn't. Even though early in the series, he did believe it.
Right. He was really open to it. Yeah. No, that's why I like the monster episodes better, because they're just more fun. They're the standalone, easy, fun ones, right?
And the last episode I watched was A Haunted Tattoo.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Where Scully just fucks a guy and gets a tattoo.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
You get it, girl. You know?
That's how it works.
He was pretty handsome. He was, like, super setting off some red flags every time he was talking to her, but apparently she didn't care.
Yeah, she's despo.
She's like, I gotta get something going that doesn't involve Mulder. I gotta get something going in my life.
Spooky Mulder ain't cutting it. We're not. I don't think they're there yet, right?
No.
Well, you never really know, which is a great, like, will they, won't they, like, cop out of all time, right?
I don't think they ever answer that.
They just always are like,
shit.
Yeah, like at some point, yeah, they did, right? But you never know.
Or won't they?
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're doing a Star Trek podcast.
Maybe I'm gonna watch Buffy. I don't know. But anyway,
Buffy. There's like 14 seasons of that, so
yeah. I mean, it's got monsters in it. It's got cool kicking ass after school action. T'Pol's husband shows up, which is a plot line I missed.
Yeah. So part of the gig is this dude's family has a lot of pull, and T'Pol's mom gets fired from, like, her job as, like, a scientist or something, because she's too Cyrenite-y, which they tie it together in this.
Yeah,
like,
turns out she is a Cyrenite.
Yeah, she's Cyrenite-y. So they fire her, and, like, in order to, like, get her job back, T'Pol marries this idiot. Koss, yeah.
Which is not, like, a very Vulcan-y name.
No. He's kind of a dick, but, like, later he kind of isn't a dick. I don't know. He's like, it's an arranged marriage, so she's like, I don't want to do that shit. It's stupid.
It's an arranged marriage that he's really into, and she's really not.
I mean, look at her.
like he's all about it, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I'm trying to get some human dick from a complete fucking moron.
From a Florida man.
Jesus. Like, when you think about, like, the main characters of each Star Trek series, you got your Kirk, Spock, and your Bones, right?
Yeah.
Who's the third main character in Enterprise?
It's Trip.
Trip?
Yeah, but he's just stupid Bones.
He's so dumb.
He's a Southern man, like Bones is from Mississippi. He's from Florida, right? So it's like he's a Southern guy, but he's a dummy. But he's, like, kind of not a dummy, but he's like a Scotty Bones combination, right?
I don't care for Trip. I think I've gone on.
No, he's not great. He's not the best part of the show.
He sucks. Like, he's so boring.
He's more like a Voyager character, if any. He's a little bit better than a Voyager character, but he's still not
Everybody in Enterprise who isn't, like, a main character is a Voyager character.
Yeah. There's some Hoshi moments, which are okay.
Yeah, I like Hoshi. Like, I voted for her in that Hottie tournament a couple times.
Yeah, Hoshi's all right. Yeah, I mean, everybody else is sort of just like, whatever.
Like,
but
how many seasons are there, and what is Mayweather's personality? He had personality in the first episode, and then he's just pilot man.
He's just like good boy. He's just like Boy Scout boy.
Good boy.
Yeah, like he's just like I'm just a normal good boy. I don't do anything wrong.
Everybody at home, take out your voting dials and vote on who's the better good boy, Mayweather or Kevin Cole.
I don't know.
Who's the goodest boy?
I've heard Kevin say fuck. I've never
Kevin
heard
says
Mayweather.
a lot of dirty words.
Yeah, he does.
But T'Pol's mother wants her to have an Idic, and she claims that it was like passed along as a family heirloom. But apparently, like Teles, who is T'Pol's mother, has been forced into hiding because she is a Serenite.
She's missing, so they don't know where she is. Yeah, not
she's
yet.
a Serenite, and she fucked off, like every Serenite did, because they know what's happening.
Some shit's going down. Yeah, there's a purge.
They're well aware they're being framed for this.
There's Order 66 going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, there's obviously they're like an unwanted element in Vulcan society, and this is the plan to get rid of them.
Which is also with the mind melding, like. The mind melding in previous episodes, they talk about it's like AIDS. It's like stigmatized, like AIDS was, where like, oh well, they got AIDS because probably they were doing dirty things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
like mind melds are seen as like unclean. It's a type of like intimacy that is below a Vulcan,
right? And it gives you a neurological disease, which T'Pol has because she. But you find out again later that she like it can be fixed because like. She just doesn't know how to mind meld right, because nobody ever teaches them how to do it.
No, they just do it like in hiding, in secret.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the thing from the Age of Resistance, the Dark Crystal, where they mind meld with each other?
Oh, they touch each other. Yeah. What do they call it? Dream tripping, dream striding,
dream fasting,
dream striding, dream hugging,
dream. Fucking
dream walking, dream walk with me. What do they say? Fuck,
I'll never remember now.
God, it's like one of those 8 things we said. It's one of
those. Somebody at home is yelling it into their
they're
microphone,
really mad,
hoping
probably.
we can hear it. But it's like it's stigmatized for a reason,
right?
Like if you can mind meld, you can know what that person knows, and you can know it's true.
It's true.
If you're running a disinformation campaign, the one thing that's scarier to you than anything is the sharing of true information.
Right, you can see it, like you said, like in Dark Crystal. It's an easy way to know.
In China,
yeah,
for the most part,
pretty much.
Anyway, T'Pol brings the Idic to Archer. And it has a holographic map of Vulcan's Forge, which is an incredibly important, like, religious site in Vulcan history.
Also, it's a death desert.
Oh, it's like a super death desert. It's meant to, like, fucking test you.
Yeah.
If you make it through it, then you're, like, religiously, spiritually clean.
Yeah, the Forge. Forge my soul, my Katra.
Getting fucking forged. All I can wonder is, like, I guess it's a desert, so they're probably just covered up with sand, but, like, how many dead Vulcan bodies are out there in that motherfucker,
like Terminator? Like in Terminator 1, where there's, like, mountains of skulls and shit? Yeah.
It's pretty much the Vulcan's Forge.
Yeah.
And, you know, Archer's like, well, how do we know that they're there? And are you sure that she was giving you this for, like, a reason, to show you something? And T'Pol brings up that, you know, she was told that it was a family heirloom, but she's never seen it before. It's just a message.
Yeah, it has a fucking crystal in it that makes a map, which is like, what is that?
Yeah, what type of technology is that shit?
We gotta go to there, because, like, why would my mom give me this?
Mom sent me on an errand to the Vulcan's Forge to pick up milk.
She needed a pack of cigs. I had to go down to the Forge 11 and grab some. Back when you could do that. Remember when you could just go buy cigarettes for people?
Oh, no. I don't remember that at all.
Like, you could just do it.
There was like a little grocery store in my town.
Yeah.
And kids went in there so often and said that their parents were sending them for cigarettes and then just went and smoked them.
Yeah,
they
smoked
wouldn't
them.
do that anymore.
Yeah, by the time we were, like, growing up, like that was pretty much gone. But like in the 80s, like you could do that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, you could do that as much as you want because kids were like, "Why would I want to smoke this?
Yeah,
I can get candy cigs."
dude, with the ones that were gum and you blow the smoke out.
Oh my god, I never had that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we still have them in the candy store, like the chalky kind, the ones that look like blunts.
Yeah, pretty much. They're
Candy
like,
blunts.
they're just called candy sticks now.
Yeah, they're not cigarettes now.
Which is fine. I don't give a fuck. But
They should just rebrand them candy fucking weed, dude.
Candy doobs.
Candy doobs.
So, Trip, who is just...
Candy bus. There it is.
Oh my god, you made it. I thought we were just going to dance around that forever, so I
Nope.
moved on.
Got it. Last second.
Bus.
Candy bus.
That's ingenious.
Thank you.
Shirt it.
Shirt it. It's back.
I brought it back, baby!
Shirt it's back. Go buy your shirted shirt. Oh, wait.
It's coming back.
Yes!
Teespring Teespring is great. The quality's better for shirts.
Yeah.
There's seems to be less oversight for what you can put on shirts.
Yeah.
And
Which is good.
You don't make $2 a shirt anymore. You make like
nice.
a real amount of money for your work.
Pretty nice.
I'm making some shirts for M Class to start selling sometime soon too, including perhaps a shirt for our 3 Trek Kings heroes.
Oh my god.
If you haven't listened to Trek Kings, the M Class times Space Kings crossover episode, it is on our regular SoundCloud and YouTube, and it is fucking amazing.
During Pretend Friends, I thought I had an item that I had in Trek Kings, and I was like, oh wait, that's the other game I played. I don't have that this time.
Damn.
I was like, good thing one of us has a surfboard that with rockets on it, and they're like, you have that? And I was like, no, I do not.
Tandar did.
Yeah.
You should, Kevin. If Kevin was a good DM, he would have had a vortex open up and Tandar come out and give you his rocket board. Here, little bro.
Here you go, cat bro. Yeah.
That would have been amazing. Anyway, Trip, who is just the biggest killjoy, is like, you can't go down to that hellhole.
Yeah, he's really just worried about his like ex-girlfriend getting murderized by some sand lightning.
It's true. It's not an unfounded worry, as we find out.
Apparently, it's fucking horrible down there.
That's like they list off a bunch of stuff that happens. Like apparently, like just the ground will open up and swallow you in some places and shit.
Yeah, Vulcan's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I wonder what caused that.
I don't know. Is this the one where T'Pol talks about how her eyes are like fucking like they're like double lidded?
Yeah, she got cat's eyes. Like,
yeah,
all Vulcans. I mean, it makes sense. They live on a planet of sand.
Yeah, you might as well. You need like extra protection. And And Archer's like, oh, I just got these fucking Oakleys from a dude in an alley. They're $20. They're fucking totally real, though.
Yeah, these are real Oakleys.
These are real.
Look at the logo.
Real $200 Oakleys. I got them for like $10.
Yeah, check out this logo. And T'Pol's like, that says only. No, it says Oakley.
And then they snap. They snap it up. My buddy, when we went to Washington for National Honor Society, bought a pair of Oakleys like that. And he was like, man, these look like the real Oakleys. And I was like, those are ripoffs, man. And then on the way home, he snapped them in half. And I was like, told you.
He bit into them to see if they were real.
Yeah, like gold. Yep. Real Oakley.
Archer and T'Pol beam down to a place called Gateway, which is the first steps that Surak took in his pilgrimage to find enlightenment.
Yeah, his wandering meditation.
We learn that the teachings of Surak are missing at this point, which is like a throwaway line, but becomes very important as the show goes on.
Yeah.
She says that like Surak's writings were lost and like the teachings are sort of open to interpretation, and Archer kind of like laughs. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "What do you find this amusing?" And he's like, "No, I find it very familiar." And he looks right at the camera and says, "Because Jesus Christ."
I like this. I actually think this is like how
like
you do it right in Star Trek, right?
It's
like
a common ground thing, right? Your audience immediately understands what Surak's teachings mean to the Vulcans.
Also, like, it's Star Trek. Obviously, this is like a show that like espouses logic and science, but it doesn't like for the flyover dummies. It doesn't piss them off, right? It doesn't.
No, it doesn't shit on religious
Yeah.
belief or anything.
Yeah, even though
Which is
I just
good.
did. But
Fuck them. But I'm kidding.
yeah, no, but like honestly, like it's cool that like they can reference it because I mean, obviously, I just think it's a cool line that like fits well in a normally otherwise it wouldn't fit well. You know, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it fits perfectly. Like
Yeah.
Like I said, this episode's pretty tight.
Yeah.
There's really not too much of a problem with this.
Yeah,
episode.
this is one of the better. Like there's a pretty many good season 4 episodes, and this one's probably one of the better ones.
This episode was written by, I completely skipped over it, Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens.
I cannot believe Garfield wrote this. He was
Garfield wrote it.
It must not have been on Monday because that guy hates those.
Anyway, they wrote season 4 for
All
the
of
most
it.
part.
Well, they did a great job.
They wrote like half the episodes of season 4 together, and
Yeah.
apparently they're just like a fucking powerhouse team. I thought this episode was like really well directed.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of really great sweeping shots of the desert and like the scenes that are in sort of like sets, places
Yeah.
that were like specifically made to look away aren't as jarring as they usually are.
Yeah, not as Star Trek-y, right? Where you're like, that doesn't look real.
It was directed by Michael Grossman, who only directed 3 episodes of Enterprise and then a couple episodes of Angel, Buffy, Gilmore Girls, and 1 episode of Firefly. And apparently he never directed anything before or since. That's it.
Well, this is a good episode, so
Yeah, he really knocked it out of the park on this one.
yeah.
It's just, I really enjoy the visuals of Vulcan. I think it's like,
I knew you would like this. When I was watching it, I was thinking about you, and I was like, yeah, Jeff's gonna like love this. I don't know, like, I didn't know where you're at in the show or where, you know, I didn't know.
yeah.
So,
Like, especially one of my favorite shots in Enterprise period is like the 17 years ago Vulcan shot that has like
Yeah.
the desert stretching out with the old ruined statues
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Vulcans dotting it.
yeah, you don't get to see a lot of Vulcan anywhere, really. Like,
You see a lot of it in Star Trek 4.
yeah, when they're on Mount Seleia and they're doing that shit.
Yeah, Star Trek 3?
4. The end of 3, beginning of 4.
The end
yeah.
of 3, beginning of 4,
Yeah.
and it looks fucking amazing. Like, the matte paintings are gorgeous.
Oh, the matte! I love matte painting like shot. I
do
love
too.
them. It's such a 80s like. It always just reminds me of the 80s. Like I'm
But
watching
it
a fucking
works.
80s movie. Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
It works so beautifully. You also see a little bit of Vulcan at the beginning of the motion picture.
yeah.
Which
that's
is where you
right.
see the Cyranites for the first time,
Yeah,
which is really cool because Spock is training under the Cyranites to
Yeah.
achieve Kolinar. And he fucks it up because he loves his boyfriend Kirk too much.
he's got to go back to work. Duty calls.
Sorry, guys, I can't achieve enlightenment right now. I gotta go to work.
Enlightenment can wait. V'ger's coming.
Gotta get into that V'ger orifice.
Get up in that V'ger. Rattle around up in that V'ger a bit.
Okay, Brandon Braga, calm down.
Like go put your whole body up in there. You know what I mean? Like shrink down to a size that you can just get up into a V'ger.
This podcast entirely brought to you by Brandon Braga. Thank you for the money. No thank you to what you were forcing my friend to say to everyone at gunpoint.
Did you? It's like advertising break. Have you ever wanted to climb up inside a V'ger?
Sure, we all
do.
Back on Enterprise. Well, first off, a Salat shows up and scares the shit out of Archer, and we learn that T'Pol had one as a pet that was slightly smaller.
Yeah, we got to see one during the animated series.
Yeah, it was like a Scooby-Doo character.
It was like a Scooby-Doo lion. Yeah.
It went.
Yeah, I like. Does he say like, what do you do? Like, how do you like? What happens if you don't feed them or whatever? And then
She's like, Vulcan children never forget or
to
late
feed their
to feed their
Salat.
Salat.
It's great.
I believe it.
Yeah, they're like jaguars, like but
Pretty
like
much.
more
They're like
mean.
saber-tooth tigers.
Yeah, they're cool looking.
I like them. They have like a extended muzzle that's like wolf-like, but they're very much like saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah. Would you rather have a Targ or a Sailot?
I'd rather have a Sailot, because, I don't know, Targs aren't very cute.
They're pig-like.
I like pigs. Like, piggies are cute, but like a big gross boar monster isn't cute.
I don't know. If you had a Targ though, you get so much cred with Klingons.
Oh yeah. Fuck. If you were just a human with a Targ, they'd be like, "Holy shit, this dude's dope."
This dude rolls. He probably listens to like metal.
It just reminds me of the episode with Riker when he's on board the Klingon ship.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "Oh, the lady's interested in you."
And he's like, "Which one?"
He's like, "One
or both?"
Yeah. And they're all
dude.
like, "Wah!"
Dude. Great fucking line. When are we gonna watch that one? Oh man.
I don't know. That's got to come up in a collection someday.
What could that collection be? You could do the one with him doing that. You could do the one where
Riker Fox collection. Is that what we're gonna?
You can do the one where I was gonna say where Troy is a Romulan.
Like, oh yeah, like the cross-cultural collection.
Yeah, you could do like.
There's the one where Kirk dresses up like a Romulan to infiltrate that Romulan base.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
And of course, there's the one where Spock and Picard are Romulans.
Yeah, there's that one.
The two-parter.
Yeah.
Did we already do that?
No, I feel like we didn't.
Every time I'm looking through collections now, I'm like, wait, did we already do that?
Yeah, it's hard because, like, we talk about things and, like, it's not on the show.
No, we've gone to every series except Enterprise, and also to Enterprise other episodes this time. Sorry, guys. Our brains are, like, connect the dots.
Yeah, it's just the way it is here. You'll get used to it, or not.
That's your problem.
That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Back on the Enterprise, Phlox is, like, examining the bomb because they think that, like, they really need to recheck the DNA results that they had.
Yeah.
And he figures out through, like, DNA recombining that the telomeres, which we all know what that is, from T'Pol's DNA.
We all took bio honors, right?
They're too long to be a 32-year-old Vulcan. They're actually from a 5-month-old T'Pol, which means that they're just using the DNA that's on record from when she was a baby.
Yeah. I think that telomeres have something to do with, like, why animals only live a certain length of time, too. I could be wrong about that, but...
I think you're right, because they were talking about them, well, I think fucking Trip says that. He's like, that's the reason why, like, animals age, or whatever.
Oh, does he?
Age.
Oh. Maybe I got it from Trip.
Knows it, we should know.
Yeah, if
right?
Trip knows, we should definitely know. That guy's a moron. Catfish! I love catfish! And he shoots his 6-gun and
how did you get that on board the ship?
I carry it in my butt pocket.
I carry it in my secret pouch. And then he puts his finger to his lips. Shh, winks.
It's a secret.
My secret pouch.
I'm from Florida.
I don't know if people from Florida sound like that.
My dad moved there and turned into a nutcase, so...
Yeah, turned into.
Yeah, well, it was a slight nudge, but you know,
they find a video recording or a hollow video recording.
Oh shit!
From the embassy that happens right before the bomb explodes.
Yeah, which you would think, like, in the future, like, I mean, God knows, like, how many fucking cameras are in places now, man? You know,
there's one, and it's pointed at the back of newcomers' heads, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
it's not very useful.
This
yeah, the guard's still there. Still the same guy.
Right, cool. This is like 2004, so, like, one camera was, like, enough, right? Like,
they can't identify the suspect, but it turns out the guard recognizes who it is and is also in sickbay.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember them saying before. Is this the first time in the episode they mention that? Because they say it like they've said it before.
Well, they say that the guards are alive. Like, some of the guards are alive still, but they're in comas and shit. Well, they, like, mind meld with them. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, it doesn't happen just yet.
How do they? I don't remember. Do they say that they? Man, I forget this part.
But like it's quite a coincidence that the guy survived, but he's in a coma. Which, like, normally, what the hell are you gonna do with that, right?
Right.
Unless you got a really dope Vulcan that knows 20th century shit really good on your team. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Back on Vulcan, the Salat gets driven away by another Vulcan who like has the ability to use a Salat call perfectly, which is super impressive.
It's like it's like this weird sound. Did I do it right?
Just play the sound by. It sounded exactly like it. You're pretty much this guy.
It was like some strange ass like scream.
His name is Arev.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the hell are you doing here? You're a human. Like humans don't come here."
Yeah.
And Archie's like, "Oh, I'm on a pilgrimage to learn about Surak and the teachings of logic." And Arev's like, "Okay,
sounds fake, but all right."
That's bullshit, but I believe it.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going, I guess. Let's move on.
But he tells him like he shouldn't come because the Forge is gonna kill him because he's a shitty human.
Yeah,
right? Like what's he gonna do?
Humans need like water. Vulcans need like no water.
Yeah, they only have to take a drink of water every 2 days.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Humans gotta take a drink of water like every 2 steps.
Every 2 minutes, you need to drink water if you're in a desert. Yeah.
Arev starts like quizzing him. He's like, "All right, quiz bowl time." He just asks him these questions about. They're obviously like Cyrenite questions. T'Pol comes to the conclusion.
Yeah.
But Archer doesn't know anything about Surak's teachings.
He's like, who said? It's like the Spock test with the machine, right? But it's like Arev's doing it. Who said that? Whatever, infinite combinations, and Archer's like, I don't know, Yogi Berra.
He's like, I know Newton's first law of conservation. That's probably the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't believe that shit, right?
Yeah.
But before he can really do anything about it, a sand firestorm happens. But what a dope name.
Sounds awesome. Like, wouldn't want to be in it, though. It's like a tornado that shoots lightning out of it. No thanks.
No thank you.
That's a double no thanks for me. That's terrifying.
Back up on the Enterprise. Our true heroes, Tucker and Phlox, are talking to Soval, and they're like, we need somebody who can mind meld with this guard, because he knows who it is.
Yeah.
And Soval's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not getting brain aids from this dude. Like, I'm not gonna stand here while this abomination happens in front of me. And Tucker's like, well, wait. We have DNA evidence that says T'Pol didn't plant the bomb. It was all, like, faked.
Yeah.
And Phlox is like, it is true. And before even checking, Soval's like, then I'll do the mind meld.
He's just horny to mind meld, dude. He just had to be like, I don't think I want to.
I don't think I want a mind meld, but I've had a couple drinks, so I guess I would.
I think feet are gross. I definitely wouldn't lick one.
Oh my god!
And then someone's
you had
like,
to take it there, didn't you?
And then someone's like, Phlox is like, in my culture, licking feet, and he's like, I'll do it.
He's real horny for the mind meld. It's true. But like everybody's shocked because oh my god, the ambassador is gonna do brain sex with this guy
because he says he can do it, which like is like oh man, because you think
not
at
supposed
this
to be
point,
able to.
Yeah, like only like a small. That's the thing. Only a small percentage of people can do it, right?
This is like the same thing from DS9 with the Trill, the big like reveal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't get into it. Back in the hellhole in Vulcan, the Archer, T'Pol, and Arev like jump into a cave and seal that shit up with big foam boulders.
Big old foamy rocks that apparently insulate from electricity. I guess it would, but
also, why does Arev need their help to move those rocks? He's like 3 fucking times stronger than Archer is, and he's like, help me move this rock.
I guess he just figures like you're here, might as well be useful.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Please do something.
Might as well get this guy shot with lightning. Wait.
Arev should have been picking that rock up like you pick your backpack up. Like, whoop, whoop. But a lot of writers forget Vulcans are supposed to be super fucking strong.
Yeah, like, I would play more into that normal. Like, it would be really cool if you had, like, an eye for detail. Like, that's a director's fault, though. Like, the director.
I mean, it's like a... maybe it's like they're too overpowered type of thing because they can like pinch you and knock you out, but they're also real strong.
But there's a cool way to do it where it's like just like archers like having a hard time picking up big rocks and air revs like not really having that hard. That's fine.
Well, that's like honestly, in real life, if you divulge yourself of all of your emotions, you gain super strength.
Yeah,
so,
that's how you become a superhero.
If you have no emotions, then you can lift rocks real good.
Yeah, or like Dr. Manhattan, you just like teleport the rock.
Yeah, depending on how much no emotions you have.
That guy doesn't care about anything.
If you have negative 5 million emotion, then you can teleport through time and remake space.
You just make a duplicate of yourself to fuck your girlfriend while you're doing math problems or whatever.
Yeah, and she doesn't care for that. She's not big into it, but you are. Yeah. Why doesn't she want to help you out?
Like, he's like, what's the problem? Like, I don't get it.
He's like, look, I'm trying to solve math over here. Can you just fucking have sex with my emotionless duplicate real quick?
I guess it's him, right? She like looks at it weirdly. Like she doesn't. I guess like it's not fair to say that, but like
it's strange. It's like a weird situation.
But it's still him. It's still it's him, right? Like
it's still him, but also like, what do you do in that situation? Like you're having sex with somebody, and then other hands come on you.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Just go with it, man.
I know you'd be into it.
Yeah.
You'd be Dr. Manhattan, rail me.
I'd be like, anyway, oh no, more blue hands? Hope there's no blue feet soon.
We're learning a lot about Josh Henderson
I actually
episode.
I don't hate feet, but I'm not like sexually attracted to feet.
I find some feet disgusting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's people who just think all feet are gross. I'm not one of those people. I don't know.
Yeah. They're alright, whatever.
They're just parts of your body.
They don't make my pee-pee hard or anything, but they're whatever.
They don't make my pee-pee hard yet.
That's how I describe things to my doctor. Doctor, that does not make my pee-pee hard.
Alright, and he checks off pee-pee, not hard. Good to know.
Is this a recurring problem? Wait, that's not what I meant.
Wait. Here's some free samples of this blue thing.
Blue hands?
Blue hands? Blue feet?
T'Pol's Ittig is like hanging out, so a Rev sees it and he's like, oh, you must, like, I know who you are now. You must be Captain Archer who fucking destroyed the sanctuary on Pajem. And he's like, we gonna have a problem.
It gets real gangstery,
He like stands up like posturing
ready
hard.
To fight
like,
this
we gonna
dude.
have a fucking problem. Like a Rev would like knock his head off with a single punch.
Yeah, dude's been walking in the desert all day. He's ready to fight a Vulcan. Like, what are you, crazy?
But Rev's like, nah, you guys are dope as fuck.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm definitely gonna take you to the Tekerith sanctuary when the storm is over.
He's like, you guys fucking fucked that place up real good. I thought it was funny as shit, so you're in. He
also like he does a little bit of like non-Vulcan shit, which I don't know what that's about.
He reminds me
still super Vulcan-y.
Yeah, he reminds me of. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess they're just kind of like on edge a little bit because they're getting hunted to death. I don't know.
Yeah, I know who you were gonna say. Yeah, he reminds you of Spock's brother.
Yes, that's who they like, kind of like Cybok. Yeah,
I couldn't remember his name for a minute. Yeah, Cybok, because he laughs.
Yeah,
he goes.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, maybe he's just desert crazy. I don't know.
I guess, like, Vulcans have emotions.
Right.
It's just that they suppress them all the time.
Right.
Which, for humans is super unhealthy, but apparently for Vulcans is A-okay.
I guess, like, yeah, I guess, like, if you're, like, a cool hippie Vulcan, you occasionally laugh, like, chortle a bit. Sensibly chortle.
You get your little sensible chuckles.
That's like as radical as like hippie Vulcans get. They go every now and then.
I do really like that a Rev has the Spock trying to go through Kolinar haircut.
Yeah,
he's got the Vulcan mullet.
Yeah, the Vulcan mullet.
I love the Vulcan mullet. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
There's a haircut in Elder Scrolls that looks exactly like that, and I'm always like,
that's perfect.
I'm always like, man, this is fucking mullet right here.
But T'Pol's mom is hiding in the Tekerith sanctuary with the Sierranites. Is why that's important.
Yeah, because he says, you're Captain Archer, and you must be T'Pol because she serves on a human starship. So he puts it together.
Archer finally gets some answers out of him, or a Rev finally gets some answers out of Archer anyway, when he explains that the High Command thinks the Sirenites have been involved.
Yeah.
And a Rev is like, nah, dude, we have Surox Katra.
Yeah.
And Archer's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And I love that, like, it's like this whole scene is like listening to your grandpa with your like super atheist friend with you. Because like he's explaining his beliefs, and T'Pol just keeps rolling her eyes and like looking at it.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they went with. I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit. Wait, no.
Let's take a break first.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. We'll get into it after the break. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break, and then Josh is gonna say "fuck you" to all of you and skip ahead.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Over the years, you've watched them grow, but it's time for a Saved by the Bell graduation.
This is our last night together.
But wait, look who's going to college.
The Three Musketeers back together again.
It's your first chance to see the new kids on campus.
If I would have known college was this good, I would have skipped high school.
In the world premiere of Saved by the Bell's primetime special, NBC Saturday at 8, 7 Central.
Back to the show.
Welcome back from those messages, everybody. Hopefully that was the Care Bears, or else Josh might be fired.
I have like a ton of old commercials, and I can't look through them to find a specific one. They're all in like one track.
So you just pick one.
So I just go to the next one, unless I don't like it, unless it's something stupid.
It's probably not Care Bears, then. There would be no way the stars would align on that shit, right?
Well, I mean, sometimes I look for the things that we talk about, so maybe I'll look for Care Bears.
Neither of us is going to remember that we talked about Care Bears.
I remember everything that happens, always.
Okay, what's my middle name?
I have like eidetic memory of the show.
What's my middle name, Josh?
Winston.
Close enough. It's not. My middle initial's M.
Mike Winston.
Yeah, Mike Winston. It's me.
Yeah.
So where were you going to jump ahead? You were going to hop ahead a little bit.
I was gonna jump ahead to where was I gonna jump ahead to? Man, I like forget now. Oh my god. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Okay, I got it. I think it's interesting that Archer gets the Katra and not T'Pol.
Oh yeah, that happens like right after the next scene. So yeah, you're not jumping ahead too far.
Okay. I didn't remember if there was another scene on the ship or not.
There is.
Okay.
But we'll circle around back to it. Yeah, like T'Pol gets like hammerjacked by lightning and she's out cold, right?
Yeah.
And because lightning fires through the rocks. Because it wants to kill them, is what I'm getting. Like, the lightning wants to kill them real bad.
Apparently, this is like a Category 5 lightning storm, sand lightning storm. I don't know.
It got rough in there for our heroes. Yeah. And T'Pol gets, like, slapped by the tar monster that is lightning. And she's out cold. And Archer isn't. Or a Rev gets struck by lightning as well, but he's like...
Yeah, he gets more fucked up from it.
He's like dying from it. So he gives the Katra to the only person in the room who's close enough for him to reach.
Right.
And it just happens to be Archer, which is wild.
He melds it into his brain.
Could you imagine how badly that would affect, like, Orthodox Vulcan society to learn that, like, their savior's soul was put inside of a filthy human?
I think it's cool that it works out this way, but I also think it would be cool if T'Pol got it. Because T'Pol's like, so like, this is bullshit. Like, she's like, all this shit is bull. Like you said, it's like your atheist friend, right?
Yeah, she's rolling her eyes and like looking at him and like being like, can you believe this shit?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it would work either way. And also there's the whole like her mother is one, and she doesn't see eye to eye with her about many different things.
Yeah, there's a little bit of teenage rebellion still in her.
Yeah. She's like 30, what is she, 63? So in Vulcan years it's like 28.
Pretty much. She's Vulcan Rebellion has to be like wild, right? Like it's like Spock did Vulcan Rebellion, where they were like, "We want you to go to the Science Academy," and he's like, "No, I will be a great science officer aboard the Federation.
I'm gonna join the Federation," and they're like, "Oh,
the Federation that is slightly less logical than what we said,
slightly less like renown than the thing we want you to do, right?"
We will have to disown you for this. I understand.
I completely understand. Live long and prosper.
On the Enterprise, though, is when Phlox, Trip, and Soval like meet with the head of the High Command and the security guy.
Yeah.
Stell. And they're like, well, if it's not T'Pau, then who is it? And Soval says that it's you, Stell.
Yes.
And they try and skirt around the truth a little bit. They're like, we have an eyewitness who identified him. And they're like, well, let me talk to him. No.
He's in the bathroom.
He got real bad tummy troubles. He can't come out and talk to you for a long time.
They're like, he's in a coma, and administrator, what's his name, is like, wait, what? How the fuck do you know? You know?
Like, well, Trip is an asshole. He's just like, we did a mind meld. And everybody's like, what the fuck?
Stell pukes. He's like, it's horrible.
And Soval admits he's the one who did it. And
he's like, yeah, I did it. Fucking fire me, bitch. And they're like, okay, you're fired.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to have to come before the High Command and account for your actions, which is like the Vulcan equivalent of, we're going to kill you for this. Yeah, we're going to kill you to death.
Yep.
And Soval, like, he's like, I'm going to turn myself in to the Vulcan High Command. Mm-hmm. And Tucker's like, well, like, wait a second, like, what if they're all in on it? And Soval just kind of like, what I took for him being like, well, I have to do this.
Right.
And he gets in the thing to beam out. Tucker takes it as, you don't trust humans.
Right.
Which I felt was a weird little leap.
Yeah, Tucker's sort of like, again, he's not the greatest, like, in charge guy. And they kind of play with that in the whole series, where like there's times where he's in charge and everyone's just sort of like, yo, you're being like a real dummy.
Yeah, why are you so bad at this?
Yeah, like you shouldn't be like a commander, probably, right? Like, if it were Archer there, like I think it would have gone better. And it's a nice moment because like Soval's like doing the right thing, like he's speaking out against the wrong, right?
Yeah, he's standing truth to power, right? Like
which is exactly what's happening like now in our world, right? Like there's few people, that's the Star Trek thing, right? Like a very few people, courageous people stood up and changed things. And that's what's happening right now in the show.
Yeah, I'm thankful that we have some real Savals amongst our people today.
Maybe not enough, but there's some, right?
Yeah. He just says peace and long life.
Yeah.
And he's which is like a sign of respect,
right?
And Vulcans, they don't say it to just anybody,
right? It's like a farewell, like a meaningful farewell, right?
It's like a true wish. Like maybe Spock is the one who talks about this, or maybe Tuvok, I forget, where they talk about like live long and prosper isn't like see you later.
Right. It's like,
I hope that if I never get the chance to see you again, that you live a long, fulfilling, and happy life full of nothing but good times. Mm-hmm. Which is quite a sign-off.
Yeah, it's about as emotional as Vulcans get, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty... Once you crack, like, through that Vulcan exterior, like... You're in, man. They're like loyal as shit to your ass, you know?
That's true. They're
like ride or die, baby.
They're like softies as well. Like they really want the best for everybody, and they'll do whatever's necessary to make certain it happens.
Yep.
Unless they're like a serial killer or a gun runner or something. Or a baseball player.
Or obsessed with baseball.
Archer's like knocked out by the mind meld, so he's like, where's a Rev? And a Rev is dead. He's like covered up in a sheet they just happen to have.
Yeah, I don't know if they like took his pants off and put it over his head. That's what I thought they did, as a sign of respect.
He won't need these pants in the afterlife where his Katra goes.
Yeah, we'll put him over his head and just have his I almost said Klingon dicks. His Vulcan dick just like hanging out.
How many wieners do you think Vulcans have?
One. It's just one, Jeff.
We're not certain about that here on M-Class.
Somebody's
Podcast.
gonna change it. Well, I am. I'm a scientist and I've studied them
That's
up
true.
close and personal.
Ensign Henderson's head bobbers and hand jobbers.
They don't know about that conversation. That was off the air.
That was off the air. I'm doing a you. I'm doing like a callback to a joke that wasn't on the air.
I love it. If it wasn't you, I would have said it.
But like apparently he remembers a Rev saying the Vulcan word for remember to him, but neither of them know what that means.
Yeah, they're like. Later, he's like, I think he punched me. It's just like, what?
T'Pol isn't even like, what? Why?
Yeah.
She's just like, okay.
All right.
I understand why somebody would want to punch Archer.
Yeah, I've been there.
But they decide to go ahead and search for the sanctuary since that's where T'Pol's mom is at. And but they bury a Rev first, which I thought was a nice touch. Like, don't just leave his dead body in a cave.
I mean, he's in a cave. He's kind of buried already.
It's underground. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's a cave. It's buried.
For some reason, Archer knows the way through the desert. Like, we as an audience are like, oh, he's got the Katra.
Yeah, but, like, he just knows. He starts knowing things, right? He gets that, like, I have superpowers now.
I guess the general audience wouldn't know about Katra.
I mean, I think you could pick up what happened, right?
He did something to him, you can tell.
I mean, but you're right. Like, we know because we've seen Star Trek and we know what
yeah,
that
we've seen
is.
Spock do this shit a couple times.
Right, so we know.
But they like walk towards this rock, and Archie's like, "Oh, it's here," and she's like, "That's a rock."
Yeah.
And he just walks right through it, just like Jesus. When Jesus walked through the rock.
Yeah, when he walked through the rock, or moved it with his psychic powers or whatever.
He used his laser vision to shoot through the rock.
He uses mutant powers to move the rock. I don't know.
Archer's like, T'Pol, don't resist. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And then they get attacked by Vulcans.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Uh-oh.
What's gonna happen to our hero Archer?
Archer. Will it all work out? I don't know.
Josh doesn't know. He definitely didn't watch the next episode.
I watched this episode many times. I've seen this probably like 10 times.
This is a good episode. Like, I really love anything that focuses on Vulcan culture. Like, everybody knows I love them Vulcans.
Yeah.
I feel the same way with a lot of Star Trek races. They're like, I really like Klingon episodes that talk about like Klingon politics in their world.
Oh no, I agree. I love when they get into the inner workings of these different species. I think it's great.
Like, and some of my favorite episodes are like that, like the reunification with the Romulans, seeing like what their planet is actually like.
Yeah. They love soup, like all Vulcans and proto-Vulcans.
Yeah, they're a big fan of flavorless soup.
Just dishwater-ass soup.
Being assholes to each other all the time.
Yeah. Fucking pricks.
I wish we would have got something like that with Tellarites.
Yeah, you only get a little bit of Tellarites in there. They would have had something. You know they would have.
The Tellarites are like... It would be tough to like make the Tellarites likable if you did like a whole thing about them because they're all just such assholes.
No, here's what they would have done. They would have done like a buddy cop thing with Archer and like a Tellarite guy, or maybe it would be Trip. It's always Trip, right? Trip gets put with these dudes, and they would have gone to Tellarite and they would have been like, "I hate you, and then in the end they would have like found some respect and actually liked each other.
And the Tellarite would have been like, but you said you hate me. And the Tellarite would be like, that's our way.
That's how we do it. It actually means I love you.
And then they would
have kissed.
And then they would have kissed, and the Tellarite would have made that noise that pigs make.
Yeah, it would have been hot as fuck.
And then it would have made my pee-pee hard. Doctor, that makes my pee-pee hard.
All right, write that down. Doctor, that makes my pee-pee hard. All right.
All right, we're really working through something here now.
We got something. Now we got a show.
Now take those pants off. That's normal, right? That's what a doctor does.
Yeah. Sometimes.
This episode, like I said, like this episode's especially like really good to me because we're getting towards the finale of like the Vulcan storyline of Enterprise that's run through 4 seasons by this point. There's a lot of build up.
Yeah, I think again, like if you can take anything away from Enterprise, it's like this is chapter 1 of like the Federation starting Vulcans, right? And like this is how the Vulcans and humans sort of solidify themselves as like BFF star friends, right? Like they kind of like work through some shit, help each other, and then in the end, like you don't have to worry about the Vulcans anymore. Now we can move on. I think the plan of the show is now we can move on to Tellarites. They already did stuff with the Andorians.
Yeah, they already did the Andorians. I feel like if they would have had more time, there would have been more Tellarite stuff.
Yes, and there's an Andorian episode coming up, I think. Yeah, coming up, where they go to Andor, and they, like, go in the ice and shit, and you can, like, see how they live and shit, which is cool.
That's cool. Dude, I would have loved to have seen what Tellar Prime was like, though. Like, how does a society function where everyone is purposefully a dick to everyone else at all times?
I just picture, like, there's just, like, ads everywhere. Like, Times Square, right? But, like, just insulting ads. Just, I don't know.
Are you a piece of shit?
Of course you are.
Of course you are. Clean up your disgusting body with Brauman soap.
I don't know. They're good engineers, so maybe they live in like a clean. I mean, it's not like a mud everywhere, right?
They do love mud baths.
They do love mud baths, yeah.
So they would definitely be like Tucker and him at the mud bath, and Tucker's all uncomfortable.
Yeah, that would definitely have happened.
The Vulcans are definitely like my favorite Star Trek species, and like there's really, like Josh said, they become humans like BFFs. Like there's which is why I don't, like I've mentioned before, I don't care for like the animosity that exists in Deep Space Nine between everyone and Vulcans. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Because in like previous Star Trek shows and movies and stuff, like humans and Vulcans are the ones that are exchanging looks. Like, can you believe this motherfucker?
Yeah,
when they're looking at other aliens.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this dude?
Like, so at Starfleet Academy, like there's this statue of like 4 pillars, right? And they're like kind of in a square. And, like, each pillar represents the 4 founding races, societies. And, like, at this point, there's one pillar. It's humans, right? They're kind of holding it together. Like, they're juggling the Andorians. They're juggling the Vulcans. Like, they're trying to keep shit going. But after
we're trying to stop wars. We're trying to, like, keep diplomatic relations open
keep
with
the
these
peace,
people who hate each other.
Right. And after this series of episodes, there's 2 pillars. Like, now the Vulcans are in, right? They're full in after this. Now we gotta worry about the Andorians and Tellarites and the Romulans fucking everything up.
True.
Which they do.
Like, there's something so special about the originals of something. Like, there's a reason why, like, every so often the X-Men comics just are about the first 5 X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something special about that. There's something very special about the founders of the Federation.
Yeah.
That they came together because they shared these ideals and they created this thing that we all love.
Right. There's a couple of moments like that in like Endgame Avengers where like it's the 3 main Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool. Like these are the guys, right?
Yeah,
like,
we're back to like the basics, the originals here.
They're fighting Thanos and you're like, all right, this is great. Like, yeah. I agree. I think that it's cool, like, to, like, Justice League was like that, too, when they would, Justice League Unlimited, like, every now and then they would go back to, like, an episode of, like, John or something, and you're like, oh, he's, like, one of the original guys, cool, right?
Oh,
you know?
Like, when big shit happened on Justice League Unlimited, like, you'd have all, like, the bit players who were always in episodes, but then, like, the actual original Justice League would show up, and...
It's cool.
It would be, like, this amazing moment.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for originals in anything.
The founding bros or hoes, starting bros and hoes,
like the founding Trek boys of M-Class.
Yeah, those guys are the best.
We've created a weird society. We have a spin-off. So
yeah, it's weird.
There's we've mentioned it before, Tapon's Theater on Subspace, like the radio drama.
I got my shirt.
I did too. What color is your shirt?
Purple.
Mine's purple too. I think we got special ones because most other people seem to get black.
Oh, sweet.
That's pretty.
I might get a
dope.
black one too. I like black.
I like the purple one. It's like really fucking cool. It's like purple enough that even I immediately knew it was purple. I was like, oh shit,
that's right.
This thing's
You
cool
can
as
like
fuck.
see purple.
I can. Like I'm not really that colorblind. That's why like I'm not the type of dude that complains about it because like it's not really that much of a problem for me.
Yeah. I hear you.
Like if I was like red-green colorblind, that has to fucking blow.
That sucks. Yeah, that's a bad.
But
one.
like I'm like a little blue-purple colorblind, so which is usually just breaks down to somebody being like, "No, that's purple."
That's actually purple. Yeah. Oh, okay. Looks blue. It's purple.
It's purple. So like I've sort of trained myself to like look for the like redness in the color.
Did I ever tell you about the time we were at work at the college we worked at, and we had one of those colorblind tests like up a page that was like a colorblind test, and it said funny shit like "you suck" or "eat a dick" or whatever. You know the colorblind test I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. It has a name. I don't know the name of it. And this kid comes up and he's like, "What are you guys looking at?" And we're like, just this colorblind test. And he's like, "What's that?"
What's a colorblind test?
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, look at this. Like, it says stuff in it." He's like, "I don't see anything." And we were like, "Bro, you're fucking colorblind."
Yeah, that's how I found out I was colorblind, actually. Like, these dudes were, like, looking at these colorblind tests, and they were like, "Well, I can't see this one." And the other guy was like, "I can."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I can't see it." And they were like, "What about this one?"
Yeah.
Not really. What about this one? No. And they were like, "Can you see, like, an outline of something?" And I'm like, "I can kind of see the outline of a 3." And they're like, "Oh, you're, like, a little bit colorblind, then."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that fucking sucks for an artist, but all right.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Note to self, don't point out what colors I'm using. Got it.
Because it could be wrong.
Yeah. That's why I don't say anything about the colors of anything I do.
Yeah.
It's just a good way to get around it.
Yep.
You guys can tell me what colors they are.
Yeah, what color do you think it is?
Fucking Van Gogh was colorblind, so.
Fucking Van Gogh was also half deaf.
Well, he did that to himself.
Also, I think he could probably still hear out of his ear hole.
He went a little crazy as time went on.
It happens when you live in a society that you can just like take mercury and it's totally fine.
Well, that's probably like when he first started showing the symptoms of like I think he had bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
They were probably like, "Here, drink this mercury. That'll make you better.
Drink this liquid mercury. It'll fix you or fucking make you insane."
Yeah. I wonder which one it's gonna be.
Yeah, I wonder which one happened to that guy. I don't know.
Oh, it turns out that the Reeves-Stevens writing couple wrote like a shit ton of Star Trek books as well.
Oh, that's awesome. We should read one at some point.
We should. They wrote Federation, Prime Directive, Memory Prime, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Millennium, the whole 3 series. The Ashes of Eden, The Return, Avenger, Spectre, Dark Victory. Are these Batman comics?
A lot, right?
Captain's Peril, Captain's Blood, Captain's Glory, Captain's Academy,
Jesus Christ.
Okay, The Lives of Dax sounds pretty good. Let me
That's
click on
cool.
that.
We get to read about her fucking bones.
Hell yeah.
I'll read the shit out of that.
It's a pocket Deep Space Nine short story anthology. Ooh.
Well, I guess I'll have to learn how to read again so we can read these.
One of these days, I'll sit down and teach you your ABCs again.
A, B, C, D. That's all I know.
E.
E.
I'll teach you one letter a day. We'll work our way through it.
F is next. I mean, I don't know what's next.
Oh, shit. Well, he knows F. You know F. You use F all the time.
I don't know where it goes in the order, though.
The order is, like, arbitrary.
Yeah,
Who decided on that shit?
It's completely arbitrary. Well, I guess it evolved from, like, Latin, probably, right?
Yeah, it sounds okay in a song, I guess.
That's the only way I know is if I sing the song in my head.
But you can do, like, B, C, F, G, H, R, K.
Q, S, T, X, Z, H, B.
Yeah, it all fits in the song.
Yeah. Because they're all one syllable, because they're just one letter.
Here's a
W's too.
W.
It's 3.
There is a discrepancy in this episode that I found strange.
What?
Damn.
No one will speak ill of my favorite episode.
The episode starts with Admiral Forrest's personal log, right?
Yes.
And then after the explosion and everything, Archer gives a captain's log, but it's supplemental. Like, he's the one who gave the first log.
He's adding on to it. That's all that means. It's just a supplement to the log.
So he's supplementing someone else's log.
Yeah, you can do that.
Damn, I didn't know you could jump on somebody's log like that in
Starfleet. You can just it's called a feature. Like featuring Nicki Minaj, featuring Captain Archer.
Featuring Archer.
Yeah. It's like a remix.
This episode marks the death of Maxwell Forrest, who dies off screen. His death is not apparent until Archer's log entry.
Yeah, but he saves a guy, which is cool, I guess.
And Josh covered my fun fact of the week.
What? I did?
Yeah, you already covered it. It's Rev's questions to Archer are from Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home.
I knew it. I knew that one.
Yes. The question is, who said logic is the cement of our civilization with which we ascend from chaos using reason as our guide?
Yeah.
The answer is Tiplana Hoth, matron of Vulcan philosophy.
There you go.
And the second question, what is Kiri Keen Thaw's first law of metaphysics? And nothing unreal exists.
Yeah, which is like...
It's a great answer.
It's like so fucking Vulcan, right?
It is. You gotta get the basics out of the way first.
It's so like in this show where like they time travel and they're like, time travel isn't real. And the humans are like, bro, I just did it. Like, I just fucking did it.
Yeah, that was my John Larroquette fun fact of the week. You were well on that before me.
Oh yeah, I knew that one because it has like a cadence to it in the movie, and it's like it burned in my brain.
It's such a good movie.
I love that movie. God damn, that movie's great.
Somebody gave me a fuck, marry, kill for 6, 4, and 2.
Oh,
that was so ungodly difficult for me, and I decided to marry 6. Fuck 4, and I killed 2, which was a super hard decision for me.
That's so hard. I don't think I could do it because I wouldn't want to kill one of them. Fucking 2 would probably be a hot night. That'd be like
it's true.
That'd be like a all night sex right there, right?
All night long.
All night. All night.
I only chose to kill 2 because it's like it's the one that everyone says is the best one.
It's honestly, in my opinion, it's the lesser of those 3.
Yeah, I think 4 and 6 are a ton. Yeah. It's a lot. This is nothing against anybody who has that as their favorite Star Trek
It's
movie.
a great fucking
There's
movie.
like a billion reasons why it could be your favorite, and I love it.
Yeah.
But it has a lot more easily digested storyline than the other 2 movies. Like, there's a clear-cut villain.
Right.
It's a revenge story. Like, Kirk's got to stop this guy from getting his horrible revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do with it is what, makes it ascend as a story and works.
Right. How they present that. It's like
Like 4 and 6 are much like 4 is like a wild idea. Like, how do you get that approved? It's such a strange idea.
It's great. I love it. I love that movie.
I love it because it's so wild and weird and fun.
It uses everyone well. Like, everyone has their moment. It's cool. It's done well. And 6 is incredible.
6 is TNG 1.0.
Yeah, 6 is underrated as fuck in my opinion.
Like, if there's one of the Star Trek movies that encapsulates what it means to be Star Trek, to me, it's 6.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Star Trek in the films is, like, in the original films anyway, like it ends on such a high note. Like, what franchise ever does that? None.
Well, they seem to know that was the last movie.
Yeah, they know
as well.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, to know when you're done.
Like, one of my favorite moments in Star Trek history is in Star Trek 6 when Kirk realizes that he's being a racist.
Yeah.
He says, like, maybe we've gotten too old. Maybe the future belongs in someone else's hands who'll treat it better.
Man, if only that were the sentiment now.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Oh, boy.
It's like a beautiful film. It's entirely about, like, because Klingons up until this point have been these, like, one-dimensional villains that well, honestly, you can't even say that, because almost every Klingon story in Star Trek the original series ends with the Klingon mostly befriending Kirk,
right,
or like understanding and like respecting Kirk and Starfleet for the first time.
Yeah, the groundwork is being laid, right?
Oh yeah, and it's like
it takes years though. Is the thing.
It's the perfect complement to Star Trek 3, which is like a lesser Star Trek movie, but like Kirk loses his son and he blames the Klingons. He never gets to have that relationship with his son that he wanted because of them, and like he really does internalize that hatred and just turn it outwards towards every Klingon indiscriminately. Yeah, and it takes until 6 when he realizes what he's done.
Yep. He has to punch God with a photon torpedo. And then he's ready to take on his inner demons.
You don't ask the Almighty for his ID. It's such a great line. It's such a terrible movie.
That movie is so bad.
Like, I would kill 5 in an instant. Like,
yeah, 5 would die immediately.
Spock does Vulcan nerve pinch a horse, though. That's pretty good.
Is there a fan dance, or is that 4? No, it's 6, right? She does the fan dance?
I think the fan dance is 5.
That's 5, yeah.
Because they're trying to get into paradise.
That's right, they're
trying
Paradise
to get
City.
Into Paradise City, where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
The girls have titties.
The girls have 3 titty.
3 titty. Did we do this already?
You did it already.
All right, cool.
I'm quoting your joke.
Sweet. I'm funny.
Anybody who listens to M-Class Email knows that I really try my damnedest to credit people for their things and not take credit for it. That's why we have a million segments by this person's segment.
Without them, we would just be reading emails.
Who wants to read that?
I don't
know. You know what? I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to us ramble about our absolute favorite thing in the world.
Star Trek. Star Trek.
And if you'd like to be a part of it along with us, then you can send us in an email for our other internet program at mclassemail@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at mclasspodcast.
Motherfucking do it.
But more importantly...
Okay.
You can head over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast if you'd like to support what we do, where for as little as $1 a month, you can vote on collections, get wallpapers, get access to the Discord, get podcasts that come out like for other people earlier who give us more money, but for only $1, you still get it eventually.
Yeah, man. Do it.
Patreon.com.
It's just $1, you know. It really helps out. And another thing that helps out too is just rate us, like whatever. You know?
Yeah, like we haven't had a rating on iTunes in like a really long time. So if you guys want to rate us on there, give us a little write up. That'd be really that would help us out a ton.
Are we on Spotify or no?
We are not on Spotify. I have no idea how to do that.
I don't either.
It took me long enough to figure out how to put a podcast on iTunes.
There's got to be a way to do it. I don't think you need a special thing, because you can just make whatever, right?
Yeah, I'll look into it. Like,
we'll figure it out. It'll get
honestly,
there.
like, I would rather have it on Spotify than YouTube. Like, YouTube takes so much. Like, I have to
it's horrible.
Because I can't use my computer when it's, like, rendering the video out, even though it's an image.
It takes forever. Yeah.
So I can't use my computer for like an hour and a half. And then when I upload it, I can't use the internet on my computer.
Yeah, maybe
for
we'll
an hour
switch
and a
to
half.
Spotify or something, honestly.
So I might do that. Like, YouTube is also taken up to like eating my video when it's completely uploaded, like 2.5 hours of uploading.
Because
it just breaks.
Yeah. Because YouTube fucking sucks.
That's what it did to me today. There's no M-Class Email episode 50 on YouTube right now because it ate it after 2.5, 3 hours of uploading it.
It's infuriating. It's fucking infuriating.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I was so mad, dude. Anyway, So rate us on iTunes. We'll see about getting up on Spotify. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And become our patron for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/mclasspodcast.
One doll hair.
I'd also like to give a special thanks to Vitizen for the use of his track Outer Space Race for our theme song.
Dope.
Super dope.
He's on Spotify.
He is on Spotify. I forget what his name on Spotify is, though.
Vitizen.
But you can find him on Twitter at _Vitizen_. Thanks again, buddy.
It's just Vitizen with a capital Z.
Yeah, Vitizen. Check him out on Spotify. Go to his Bandcamp as well. I'm sure there's a link on his Twitter. Like, you can purchase his music directly, including our theme song.
Yeah, it's up on Spotify. I play it a bunch, and I'm like, I love this song.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with more M-Class goodness.
Bye, suckers.
Bye, bye, bye.
Star Trek.
I'm mentally ill.